Hi, welcome to Module 2 of the Money and Mindset course. Now this first part of Module 2, we are going to do this visualization exercise that is really empowering. It's called I Am Money Visualization. Now the visualization audio that I recorded that you'll find separately than this video is about 15 minutes long, and it's important that when you listen to this audio that you're in a space where it's quiet and you're calm and you have enough space around you where you can stand up, you can step forward, and you can also step back. You're not going to close your eyes or do anything like that unless you want to. And you'll also need this page that you see here, the page 4 and page 5 of your workbook, to take notes during our visualization audio. So you need to be in a calm place. You need to be in a place where you feel pretty positive and maybe not in a funk, or maybe not in between two appointments if you're feeling kind of stressed. So try to find a place, maybe first thing in the morning before the day gets too hectic, or maybe at lunch when you have a quiet office to yourself, or maybe in the evenings after everybody's kind of gone to bed or quieted down. Wherever it is in your life that you can take about 20 minutes to just have some peace and quiet and feel not rushed and very comfortable. It's very important that you are in that state so that you can get the full power of this visualization. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get that space, and when you're ready, I want you to go ahead and play that audio with these notes ready. And if this is a digital workbook for you, go ahead and have the digital workbook ready and just have a notebook handy to answer these questions. That works fine too. I find that I write a lot of sloppy, messy handwriting notes when I do this visualization and end up transcribing them later. So whatever works for you, but it's important that you have that quiet space and you allow yourself the time and the space to step forward to listen to this audio and to complete these 2 pages of questions. So when you're done with all that, I want you to come back to this video and we will move on to the next part of Module 2. So come back when you're done with the visualization and really get into it and enjoy it, and really, I'm so excited that you're going to do this visualization. It's very, very powerful. So see you back here soon. Okay, before you do the I Am Money visualization, I want you to understand what it is that's going to happen in this, because I've had some questions from people in the past not sure how to do this, or they weren't sure how to answer the questions. So when you're listening to the visualization, I do ask you to close your eyes. You can if you want. You should have a space that's safe that you can close your eyes. And then I have you take a step forward, and then we get into it. I ask you to put yourself in the place of money, which is kind of a strange thing to do if you're not one of those creative minds or one of those open-minded type people. So really, I want you to imagine yourself as money in this. And if you have never done that, some people are just find a struggle with putting themselves in the place of somebody else, let alone a thing. So imagine money as maybe a living, breathing, either person or thing or entity of some sort, so that you step in and become that. So if you play video games, you've kind of stepped into the place of your avatar or your character in that. If you've watched a movie and gotten really into it, where you maybe tear up or really laugh out loud, you've gotten into it. That's the kind of feeling and energy I want you to put into this. Really feel it and be that part. If you're an actor or actress and you've done these kinds of things before, this should be a little easier for you. But a lot of people do struggle with this. So I'm just giving you a little heads up on that this may be a struggle. So really just let all the outside structure-y feelings go, and just allow yourself for this short audio to just become and be money in this visualization. So that's why it's called I Am Money Visualization. It's very impactful, and just really get into it. If you think this is totally hokey, that's fine. I won't judge you for that. I thought it was hokey before I did it. Just really try to do it and see the power in it. After I did it, I loved it. I thought it was one of the most amazing tools I've ever come across, and I've actually done it, I don't know, I do it 3 or 4 times a year. I'll do this visualization to just kind of really get back in tune with money. So didn't mean to go on too long with that, but I really wanted to give that warning in case you were feeling kind of odd, or you started listening to it and you thought, I can't do this, I don't know what she's talking about, because you do answer the questions as money, not as you. So go ahead and jump into that, and I will see you back here for the next exercise. Okay, welcome back to Module 2. At this point, you should have already listened to the I Am Money visualization and completed those next 2 pages of notes in your workbook. You'll notice the next page is this compass that has 4 blocks on it. So grab those notes, and before you really get started, I want you to go ahead and look through your notes, look through the words that you wrote, and before we start, here's what I like to do. I like to read all my answers, and you'll see certain words kind of are repetitive. So I'm going to open up a little bit and share with you some of the answers I wrote on my most recent I Am Money visualization so that you can kind of get an idea of how this works, because this exercise is actually as valuable as it is, which is amazingly valuable. It's sometimes a little confusing when you're doing it. So during my visualization, the first question was, as money, what are you feeling? And the very first word I wrote was heavy, which I'm going to be honest with you right now, I've done this visualization a dozen times and I've never had the word heavy come up, but hey, I stepped into it. I felt heavy when I became money. The other words that came up were strong, shiny, and powerful. So the next question, some of my answers were abundance, grace, freedom, strength, power, highness. As I continue down looking at the notes I've made for different answers, I see that the word freedom pops up quite a bit, and also powerful. So freedom and powerful are 2 key words that really popped up a lot looking at all of my answers. There are some words that sound similar to powerful, like impactful and things like that. So go ahead and look through your notes and see if there are a couple of words or statements that really just stand out and that are repetitive, that seem to keep coming up. And use those words as your values. They should be some type of a value. So on this worksheet, which is your Sacred Money Archetype Compass, in the top left corner in purple, it says, my money values are. So what I want you to do is, by looking at this, it might be clear what your values are of money, but if it's not 100% clear, or if this is a little foggy for you, find those main words. Like for mine, powerful and freedom, those were 2 big words that came up quite a bit. I write those down as my money values. So my money values are freedom and power, okay? So how I feel about money now this is you and how you feel about money after you've been money in this visualization. So think about how you feel now. So the very first time I did this visualization, I had very different feelings when I became money. When I stepped into money, I felt neglected, disrespected, lonely, and misused. So obviously I was, if as money that's how I felt, then probably as me, I was treating money in that way. I wasn't respecting it, I wasn't valuing it, I wasn't giving it the attention it deserves. Obviously now I've grown, so now I feel freedom and power, but that's my point is, whatever it is that you felt at that time, it may be negative feelings. So your money values may be the opposite of how you felt as money, or they may be something different. So how I feel about money now, I'm going to look through this and I feel that it is, it creates freedom. I feel that it is powerful. I feel like it helps me to grow, to make a difference, and I love money. So that's what I would write in that box. So however you feel about money, after doing this exercise, you may not feel that much different about money. There just may be more of awareness about how you feel about money, but go ahead and write down how you feel about money in that top corner. Okay, so next we're going to move on to empowerment. Now this is pretty simple. Before we start those sentences that say, I love, I accept, I appreciate, I can powerfully, and I securely, I want you to go down to those bottom 4 boxes. It says, my 4 empowering words. Now, if you remember your Sacred Money Archetype overview on page 2 of your workbook, at the very bottom, it has about 15 or 20 empowering words. These are specific to your number 1 Sacred Money Archetype. Looking over these words, I want you to pick out 4 that stand out, that really make you feel empowered. If they make you feel good and full of energy and like, yes, I feel connected with that, pick out the top 4 and write those in those squares. So after you've done that, using those empowering words, I want you to finish off the sentences in that empowerment box. So some of mine empowering words are rich, champion, wealth, and purpose. So I say, I love, my purpose and I accept creating wealth, and I appreciate wealth and freedom, and I can powerfully be rich, so whatever you want to do, just kind of make some sentences that really feel empowering. You can use those words, or you can just use one or two of them. You can try to squeeze all those words in a sentence. Really, this is used so in the future you can come back to this box, and when you're feeling kind of crappy, like maybe you got overcharged something, or maybe a bill came up that you didn't expect, or maybe that big contract that you were going to get that was really going to make your quarter the highest paying quarter yet, maybe that contract fell through. Maybe there's some negative things there going on. You can come back to this empowerment box and say, I love money and I accept advancement, or whatever it is. You can read these, and it kind of at least is your little cheerleader in your head that gets you back on track. So you remember that it's not all about every little negative thing. It's about how you feel and how you what your purpose is and what you put forward, where you put the power. So this is very individualized. You can, if you don't like any of those words, or you have your own empowering words, you can fill those into whatever works for you. But really, I just want you to write these power statements. So when you're feeling kind of in the dumps, or even maybe on the opposite side, let's say you're getting ready to go into meet a connection for your business, or maybe you're going for a job interview, or you're going to your boss for a raise, you can review these and get empowered and have that great money mindset before you get started with whatever that thing is you want to do. All right, so the top right corner is actions, and this is where you're going to list out 3 actions that no longer serve you. What I mean by that is, let's say there's actions that I do that I know I need to stop doing, but I just haven't stopped them yet. Like, for example, my goal is every Friday to update my checkbook register for my personal and my business bank accounts. And make sure everything's all good to go, and then I review all the incoming money, I review all money going out, and I make sure everything's paid and on time. Ideally, I do that every Friday, but sometimes I don't. So one action that doesn't serve me is neglecting my checkbook registers, so I'd write that down. Another action that no longer serves me is when I think, I can't afford that, so I'll write that, saying I can't afford that. And another action that no longer serves me is asking around for the cheapest in a certain type of thing. Like, I need to get some new shoes. Where's the cheapest place to get new shoes? So one other action that no longer serves me is trying to seek out the cheapest thing instead of the thing that fits me best, that works best for me. Okay? So after you write those 3 actions that no longer serve you, I want you to empower yourself. And these sentences you can rewrite if you want, but basically you're writing power sentences. So I empower my checkbook, my bank accounts, to grow and to be consistent every week, updated. So basically you take those actions that no longer serve you and you create some type of empowering statement that kind of contradicts it in a positive way. So I empower my bank accounts to be balanced and positive all the time. I empower my shopping experiences to be focused on the right product at a great deal versus just cheap. I empower and so this is just one of those ways to really redirect how you're thinking about things that really aren't serving you the right way. And let me just say that these actions that no longer serve you, they're probably not who you are, they're habits. So I say they're actions, but they're really habits that you've come to do. I know as a kid we used to always just we didn't have a lot of money, so we always looked for bargain things and discount things. So now I look back and I realize we probably weren't saving that much money and all the effort and struggles that we went through just to save a nickel or a dime here or there. And so now I empower my budget by finding the right products and services versus the cheapest. So in any case, find what your actions are that you don't want to do anymore, that no longer serve you, and then find your empowering statement. So take your time with that, and then the next box is your sacred money contract. Now, your sacred money contract is specific to your number 1 sacred money archetype. So in this example, we're using the ruler. So yours may look different if you're not the ruler. So the ruler sacred money contract is to innovate, achieve, and empower wealth with grace and ease. So that's basically at the end of an experience, or at the end of your life, or at the end of whatever, this should be the description. I almost like to say it's your tombstone reading. So I innovate, achieve, and empower wealth with grace and ease. So when you say that, it's basically your contract to the world, your contract to money that says, this is how I'm going to be. So after reading it and kind of really just maybe even saying it out loud a few times, I want you to write your positive feelings about that. So looking at this, I might say, "Ooh, it's exciting and powerful to innovate and achieve wealth. And to do it with grace and ease, and to be looked up to, and just those kinds of things." Then I want you to see yourself already in the future doing what that sacred money archetype or sacred money contract says. So how do you see yourself in that, at your best, living that sacred money contract? So just write a little brief description. I see myself now standing in front of millions of people eager to hear me sing on stage, and who've spent millions of dollars on my music albums, or whatever it is that you are feeling from that. All right, so after you've completed all of these, I want you to keep this handy, maybe take a photo of it. This is your compass. It's called your Sacred Money Archetype Compass because it's specific to your #1 Sacred Money Archetype, and you've completed it, so it's very personal. So whenever you are about to take a journey with your business or with money or in any way, you can refer to this to know that what your money values are, how you feel about money, some empowerment statements, to overcome actions that no longer serve you, and your sacred money contract with the world, with money in itself. So you can just kind of review this. It's basically kind of one of those things you can refer to as that little boost of energy, as that reassurance, your money business coach in your pocket type thing. So when you're complete with this, I want you to definitely check it out, or check out the Facebook group and post how you feel about your sacred money compass. It's fun, and it's just really empowering if you can just fill it out, refer to it, and even update it as time goes, as your values change and how you feel about money changes, and maybe the actions that no longer serve you. Maybe you just move on past those, and you've overcome those challenges and you have different challenges. So I know this is a little bit difficult. It seems like a lot, but it is very empowering. And once it's complete, it will be a tool you can use that's very personal to you in the future. So thank you so much for finishing Module 2. Yay, you finished. And I will see you in Module 3.